Join our family of creators. Your support means the world to us. Subscribe now to the Content Creator channel. Your support keeps us motivated and helps us bring you fresh, exciting content every week. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey. Imagine a world where one nation holds the keys to 78 ports across an entire continent. How does this shape the future of global trade and geopolitics? Let's dive into China's expanding footprint in Africa. China's presence in Africa has grown significantly in recent decades, transforming the economic landscape of many African nations. This growth is most visible in the numerous infrastructure projects that Chinese companies are undertaking across the continent, from roads and bridges to railways and airports. One of the most striking aspects of this expansion is China's involvement in African ports, which serve as critical hubs for trade and commerce. China's state-owned enterprises, or SOEs, are now involved in 78 out of Africa's 231 commercial ports, a significant footprint that underscores their strategic interests. This involvement spans 32 countries, with a particular concentration in West Africa, where many of the continent's busiest ports are located. China's engagement in these ports takes many forms. Some projects involve financing, providing the necessary capital to build and upgrade port facilities, while others involve construction or operation, with Chinese engineers and workers often on the ground to oversee these projects. In many cases, Chinese companies are involved in all three stages, from initial financing to construction and long-term operation. This level of involvement gives China significant influence over the development and operation of these critical pieces of infrastructure, shaping the future of African trade. This influence has raised both hopes and concerns about the long-term impact of China's growing presence in Africa, with some seeing it as an opportunity for growth and others as a potential threat to sovereignty. This expansion aligns with China's broader geopolitical strategy, aiming to secure trade routes and access to resources. China sees Africa as a crucial part of its Maritime Silk Road initiative, which seeks to create a vast network of ports and shipping routes connecting China to the rest of the world. This initiative aims to create a network of ports and shipping routes connecting China to the rest of the world, facilitating smoother and more efficient trade. Africa's strategic location and its vast natural resources make it a key part of this ambitious plan, offering both opportunities and challenges. As China continues to rise as a global power, its influence over African ports is likely to have significant economic and geopolitical implications for both continents, shaping the future of global trade and diplomacy. What's something people don't know about China's role in African port infrastructure? China's involvement in African ports is driven largely by its state-owned enterprises, or SOEs. These entities are not just business ventures, they are extensions of the Chinese state, wielding significant influence and power. These companies, often backed by substantial government support, play a central role in advancing China's economic and strategic interests abroad. Their reach extends far beyond mere commercial activities. In Africa, Chinese SOEs are involved in all aspects of port development. From initial planning to final construction, their involvement is comprehensive and all-encompassing. They finance projects, undertake construction, and often secure long-term concessions to operate the ports they build. This integrated approach ensures they maintain control over the entire lifecycle of the port. One prominent example is China Communications Construction Corporation, or CCC, a construction and engineering giant. This company has become synonymous with large-scale infrastructure projects. CCC and its subsidiaries, such as China Harbor Engineering Company, or CHEC, have been awarded numerous contracts for port projects across Africa. Their presence is felt in almost every major port development on the continent. These SOEs bring not only financial muscle but also technical expertise to the table. Their ability to mobilize resources quickly is unmatched. They leverage their experience in developing large-scale infrastructure projects in China to execute complex projects in challenging environments. This experience is invaluable in navigating the unique challenges presented by African terrains. The involvement of Chinese SOEs in African ports has drawn scrutiny from Western observers. There are concerns about the broader implications of such deep involvement. Critics argue that these companies often operate with a lack of transparency, The opaque nature of their operations raises red flags. They raise concerns about potential corruption and the displacement of local businesses. The economic impact on local communities is a contentious issue. Additionally, the reliance on Chinese labor and materials in these projects has limited the economic benefits for African communities. This has led to debates about the true cost of such investments. This is going to blow your mind. China's investments in Africa are reshaping the continent's infrastructure landscape. The Lekki deep-sea port in Nigeria stands as a prime example of China's growing influence in African ports. Located near Lagos, Nigeria's largest city and commercial hub, the Lekki port is a testament to China's ambition and capacity in infrastructure development. This multi-billion-dollar project was financed, constructed, and is now partially owned and operated by Chinese entities. Czech, a subsidiary of CCCC, played a pivotal role in the port's development. The company secured a 54% stake in the port and a 16-year concession to operate it. The port's construction, completed in 2022, involved dredging a deep channel to accommodate larger vessels, creating a significant expansion of Nigeria's cargo handling capacity. The Lekki port is projected to generate substantial economic benefits for Nigeria. However, the project has also sparked debate about the potential risks associated with China's involvement in critical infrastructure. Concerns have been raised about the long-term economic viability of the port, given its reliance on Chinese financing and management. Some observers worry that Nigeria could face a debt trap scenario if it is unable to repay the loans associated with the project. What's something people don't know about China's influence on Africa? China's involvement in African ports is not just about economic gain, it's also a key element of its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. This initiative is a cornerstone of China's foreign policy and economic strategy. Launched in 2013, the BRI aims to enhance China's global connectivity and influence by financing and building infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, Europe, and beyond. These projects range from railways and highways to ports and power plants, creating a vast network of trade routes. The BRI's maritime component, known as the Maritime Silk Road, focuses on developing ports and shipping routes linking China to the rest of the world. This maritime network is crucial for facilitating global trade and ensuring the smooth flow of goods. Africa, with its strategic location and vast coastline, plays a crucial role in this maritime network. The continent's ports serve as vital nodes in the global supply chain, connecting markets and resources. Chinese investments in African ports like the Lekki deep-sea port in Nigeria are seen as stepping stones in China's quest to establish a network of logistical hubs that facilitate trade and project Chinese influence across the globe. The Lekki port, for instance, is expected to handle 2.7 million TEUs annually, significantly boosting Nigeria's trade capacity. The BRI has been welcomed by many African governments as a source of much-needed infrastructure investment. For example, Djibouti's Dorale multi-purpose port, funded by China, has become a critical hub for trade in the Horn of Africa. These investments promise to boost local economies and create jobs, addressing some of the continent's most pressing development challenges. However, the initiative has also faced criticism for potentially creating debt traps for developing countries and for promoting Chinese state-owned enterprises at the expense of local businesses. For instance, Kenya's Mombasa port has been cited as collateral for Chinese loans, raising concerns about sovereignty and economic dependency. The BRI's long-term impact on Africa's economic development and its geopolitical landscape remains a subject of intense debate. As the initiative continues to unfold, its true effects will become clearer, shaping the future of global trade and international relations. The ongoing discussions in African parliaments and economic forums highlight the complexity and significance of China's influence strategies on the continent. Exposing the military ambitions of China in Africa. China's growing influence in Africa isn't limited to economic ventures alone. In recent years, there has been a notable increase in military cooperation and presence. This includes the establishment of military bases, joint training exercises, and arms sales. Critics argue that these moves are part of a broader strategy to secure China's interests in the region. Proponents, however, claim that such cooperation enhances regional stability and development. Regardless of the perspective, it's clear that China's military ambitions in Africa are reshaping the geopolitical landscape. I'm sure you've heard the news. China's growing influence in Africa is reshaping the continent's geopolitical landscape. When we talk about the geopolitical risks of Chinese investment, it's essential to consider the broader implications. China's growing influence in Africa could shift power dynamics both regionally and globally. This shift, well, it doesn't come without its set of challenges. For African nations, there's a delicate balance to maintain sovereignty while benefiting from foreign investments. And of course, international players are keeping a close watch, wary of how this evolving relationship might impact global trade routes and political alliances. This is going to blow your mind. The relationship between China and African ports is indeed a complex equation. On one hand, there's the undeniable economic boost that comes with improved infrastructure and increased trade. But on the other, there are concerns about debt dependency and potential loss of control over critical national assets. African leaders must weigh these factors carefully, ensuring that the long-term benefits outweigh the risks. It's not an easy task, but it's a crucial one for sustainable development. Everybody is looking for a new model for Chinese engagement in Africa. Some experts argue that a more collaborative approach, rather than a transactional one, might be the key. This means focusing on joint ventures, skill transfer, and, importantly, respecting the autonomy of African nations. If China can adapt its strategies to prioritize mutual growth and respect, this could pave the way for a more balanced and equitable partnership. It's a model that, if successful, could redefine international cooperation in the 21st century. You need to hear this if you're an African policymaker or business leader. China's strategic investments in African ports serve multiple objectives: facilitating trade, extending geopolitical influence, and potentially expanding military reach. While these developments can offer economic benefits to African nations, they also necessitate careful consideration of the long-term implications for sovereignty, security, and regional stability. Transparency, good governance, and strategic planning are essential components, and, well, international cooperation and dialogue will play a critical role in ensuring that this relationship fosters sustainable growth and stability. Ultimately, it's about finding a path that maximizes opportunities while mitigating risks for a prosperous future.